Welcome to Warfighter Advanced, Coming Home at Last, a podcast by and for veterans. Warfighter Advance is an organization whose mission is the successful reintegration of every warfighter. Hi, I'm Michael Arndt, a Vietnam combat veteran and member of Warfighter Advance. Welcome to the Warfighter Advance podcast, Coming Home at Last. Joining me today is Mike Gudelski, who is an alumnus of Warfighter Advance, but he also is currently a member of the board of directors and a mentor at Warfighter Advance. But more importantly, Mike joins us today both as a veteran and also as a first responder. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us, first of all, about your military background and your experience, and then your role as a first responder.
I did 25 years between active and reserve. I retired as a Command Master Chief, and I served in several different deployments in the Middle East, and I also served in different hospital units. And as a first responder, I was a firefighter paramedic for 26 years, and also my last thing I did was a fire marshal.
Wow. So you've had a wide range of experiences.
I have.
How did you get to Warfighter Advance, and why did you come to Warfighter Advance?
So my last duty station, I was with the Expeditionary Bethesda Hospital Unit as a Command Master Chief. And while I was there, there was a commander, Dr. Veaton, who we started to talk. And she told me, she said, I got this great program that I think that you could use for tools for some of your sailors, because I recognized in you, Master Chief, that you really take care of your sailors. So that's how I came about, and I showed up here for the 7-day class.
What happened when you attended your first evolution?
So my first evolution, I came in, I was kind of nervous, but I knew why I was coming, to take care of my sailors. And when we reached day 2, about halfway in the morning, I was, listening, I was looking at the slides, and I realized at that point that I was really there for me. Everything was just hitting home. I started to understand why I was doing the things I was doing, and so it really made me pay attention and made me realize that, we all have different experiences, but but there's a lot of things that we share alike, and that's what I found.
Would you mind sort of reflecting on your own personal experiences that then came out in this evolution?
Sure. So some of the things is once you reach the rank in the Navy as a chief, pretty much all the sailors' problems that you take care of your sailors, so it kind of bubbles up to you. And then as a Command Master Chief, all the chief problems and the sailors' problems and a lot of your junior enlisted problems you have to take care of. But there's no place for you to go to relieve. It's not like you can bubble it up any further. You're it. You're the bottom line. And all the other things that had happened with with different sailors and personal stuff, and then stuff from the fire department as being a paramedic, it all just kind of bubbled up and made me realize what was going on.
When you completed your first evolution, what kinds of effects did that evolution have on you and your life?
So I want to say it was probably day 6, and I called home, and what really hit me is I called and my wife, and she's like, "Mike?" And I was like, yeah. She's like, "No, you're the Mike that I married," because she heard it. She heard there was a difference. I wasn't angry. I wasn't, it was just a total different with me. And so I realized how much this program can do for somebody. Even if, like, I thought I was fine. I didn't think I had a problem at all, you know. But I just wanted to take care of people that did. And so that's where I found that I needed to, I wanted to be involved with this program, because this program saved the marriage of my wife and I, and saved me, literally. You know, now I started understanding why I was angry, and why I was letting things bother me, and how many things that we all have in common.
And now you've returned to Warfighter and involved on many different levels with Warfighter. Tell me about that experience.
So my experience is, the best part of, one part of my job is I go pick up everybody at the airport. So I see them petrified, scared, not knowing what's going on. And then when I see them on Saturday and I see a total different, a relief, I see people actually, a new person in themselves, and how much this really helped them. That is phenomenal. And being a part of that to help change anybody and help teach people about this, it's just remarkable. So, and also, after being retired from everything, you know, there's a sense of mission that's built into us, right? So, and this has become my mission, to work with warfighters so I could help save and bring in other military and first responders, because it's the best thing in the world for anybody. It saves lives.
And so what would your comment be to those who might be watching this podcast or listening to this podcast?
That we all, in the first responders and in the military, we all suffer different things. And that, you know, sometimes you think everything is okay, and it might not. And by coming here, you're going to find that it's a game changer. You're going to find that, oh, wow, this is why this is going on. And now how can I go forward? And again, you'll be, you know, getting tools in your toolbox to help you. And the best part is you have a whole new family, you know, and alum that have been here for many, you know, through many times. My first Evo was Evo 17, and I'm 37, so we've seen a lot to come through, and my family just grows and grows, and it's great, and we reach out to each other, and we help each other because we understand each other. We're very comfortable amongst each other.
Well, thank you for talking to us today, Mike, and thank you for your contributions to Warfighter Advance.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to a Mindful Minute with a Mentor as part of the Warfighter Advance podcast, Coming Home at Last. Joining us today is Susan Fritz. Susan is an alumna of the Warfighter Advance program and is also a member of the board of directors and currently serves as the chaplain for Warfighter Advance. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you.
Susan, tell us a little bit about your military experience and your many years in service and your final rank as you left the service.
Great. Well, thank you. I joined the Navy in 1974, retired in 2004 for a grand total of 30 years. My most memorable tour was as a Command Master Chief for VS-22 S3 Squadron, deployed aboard the USS Eisenhower for the first time for women going on a combatant ship. That was the most interesting one I had, and most enjoyable one. I retired as an E9, and I was the Command Master Chief of Naval District Washington.
Wow.
And so that was a huge job for the whole district. And then got involved, decided to become a deacon in the Episcopal Church, and that's how I ended up with my title as chaplain for the Warfighter.
As chaplain for Warfighter, you provide spiritual service and guidance for warfighters. Why is that an important tool for warfighters to have at their disposal?
Well, as we do everything, you know, everything that we do at Warfighter is built upon helping the service person or vet to regain their balance in life. And spirituality has always been one of those legs. Kind of, if you think of a three-legged stool, it's spirituality is that. And everybody has different spirituality. And so when I come as a chaplain, even though I'm an Episcopalian, I become a generic chaplain, and so that I can minister to all faiths. But it's important because there are some people that are very spiritual, and they want to have somebody to talk to and advise them and kind of bring the spiritual side alongside of all the information that we're giving them so that they can kind of assimilate it together, make it work together for them. And it's also important that, when we go out on our field trip, that when we go to, when we go to Arlington, can be a very emotional day for our veterans, because lots of times they never got to say goodbye to the person that's there, buried at Arlington. And we've seen that some of our vets break down in tears, and that, it's an honor for me to be able to say the prayers for them at every grave and stuff. And then I also provide prayers 3 times a day. We pray before meals to bring that spirituality into it, and it's important. Everybody has their own faith, and everybody needs to be able to express that and feel free in this space to express that.
Well, thank you for sharing that and the importance of that aspect of Warfighter Advance. Another tool in your toolbox from A Mindful Minute with a Mentor. Thank you for joining us for the Warfighter Advance Coming Home at Last podcast. Warfighter Advance envisions a world where warfighters are fully restored through a non-medical process. To achieve that vision, Warfighter Advance sponsors 6 7-day training sessions each year to which veterans and active duty service members can apply, and for no cost to the warfighter. If you or those you know are struggling with issues related to reintegration, please contact us through our website. We are dedicated to lead the way so that every warfighter has the information, tools, and support they need to successfully reintegrate. Until next time, this is Michael Arndt on behalf of Warfighter Advance.